안녕하세요. 미국주식으로 은퇴하기 미주은입니다. 오늘은 미주은 채널의 장기적 성장을 위해서 제가 최근 야심차게 런칭한 미주은이 대신 만나러 갑니다를 보내드릴 순서입니다. 미주은이 대신 만나러 갑니다는요. 미국 주식에 투자하시는 많은 분들께서 꼭 한번 만나서 이야기 나눠보고 싶으실 만한 투자의 전문가분들 또 각 산업 분야의 최고 전문가들을 모시고요. 그들의 인사이트를 통해서 우리 자신들의 투자 근육을 키워보자는 의도를 가지고 기획되었습니다. 오늘은 특집 방송으로 준비되었는데요. 여러분들께서 그동안 CNBC 뉴스 방송을 통해서 여러 번 만나보셨을 만한 미국 최고의 애널리스트를 모셨습니다. 바로 투자기관 룹벤처즈의 창립자이자 매니징 파트너이신 미스터 진 먼스터를 모셨습니다. Hi Jin, how are you?
Doing fantastic, Charles.
Great. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to join us on Mijuun channel today.
Thank you.
It is my great honor and pleasure to have one of the most influential and successful analysts like you on my channel.
It's an honor to be here.
Great. Thank you. First of all, please can you kindly introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. I'm Gene Munster. I'm one of the three founders of Loop. I'm 50 years old. I've spent my entire career studying tech from an investment perspective. And so Loop invests in transformative tech companies. So we look at both public and private companies that we see as enabling the future, the undeniable futures about how tech is going to influence us in the years ahead. And so at its most basic level, I'm a really curious person, and I love expressing that curiosity through tech and all of the other ripples that go out from that tech foundation.
Excellent. Actually, most of my subscribers know you by your face from CNBC News, but we are very happy to have this opportunity to get to know you better.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, if it's all right, Charles, just a little bit more beyond kind of the piece that some people may know myself and Loop from. I mentioned my age. I love to work with my hands, and most of my free time, it's not based in tech. I love gardening and being outside. I take that piece very seriously, and I think of it as a balance between staying in tune with where tech is going, but also in tune with what I describe as three fundamentals of where the world is going. Charles, we're going to have to pause here. I've got a 5-year-old that is, please excuse me.
No problem.
That's one other piece is I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, and here in the world of working remote, I've enjoyed their interruptions periodically, and so it really is, from my perspective, is balancing the most exciting parts of the future and what is fundamental to humans. And it's something that is really important for us at Loop, is to really define what separates humanity. We're going to talk a lot about tech, a lot about the markets today. When we talk about tech in the future, I think it's important to remember what separates humans from tech. And there are three things, that is community, empathy, and creativity. Community, empathy, and creativity. Those are three things that machines can never do, will never do. And it is important to recognize those principles, what makes humans unique, and to continue to nourish those and embrace those three important principles around humanity.
Wow, I love philosophy of yours. Thank you so much for sharing your, additional insights about the life. I feel the same. I also have a very young kids. Mine is only 7 and 9 years old. And when I think about their future, I know that they will live in a very tech-oriented world. But it means that they need to be more human being, because now you cannot be successful with a lot of knowledge because you have AI, you have a robotic. So to make yourselves more successful in their era, I believe they need to be more humanized.
You're exactly right. You took the words out of my mouth, and if I can go just a little bit further on that concept about the kind of the future and the future of work and the future of distinguishing yourself in the workforce is exactly like you said, Charles, is that it is the point of differentiation, I believe, in 10 and 20 years down the road is going to be less about just core technical knowledge and more about the human skills, as you said. And to say it in a slightly different way is, for many years, I felt like the hard skills, the programming, those types of like high intellectual skills were the ones that should be compensated the most. They should make the most money in an organization, the developers. And as I have learned more about machines and more about what is separating humans, and I think more about what is missing in organizations today, I see an opportunity for people who do those three things: creativity, community, and empathy. And said in a different way is that those three things really embody a world-class salesperson. And to bring it to the its full scope, surprisingly, I've gone from a place where I thought that salespeople should not be compensated that well. I didn't think their jobs were that hard. To now, I believe the exact opposite. I think that they are critical to an organization. They are doing things that machines can never do. And I think that they really having a strong sales organization is what is fundamental to differentiating yourself. So I would put it this way: for people who are thinking about what to study if they're in college, and I think you study kind of traditional arts. It could be literature, it could be art itself, it could be philosophy, and just really work on the human side and really differentiating yourself around communication and doing the things that machines will never be able to do.
It means when we even talk about the stocks to invest, maybe we should also consider if they have aspect of humanity in their technology then.
Yes, it's something that that piece is something that we struggle with, is there is the do good by doing good philosophy, which is only invest in companies that are ultimately making the world a better place. That is a principle of ours, but we also recognize that we want great returns. And of course, we're not going to invest in things that we believe are anti-human. But there is some, for us, a hope that these companies that are really enabling this future maintain a human aspect to it. And I think that our investment, for example, in Meta Facebook is something that we have struggled with. We think that the company is a attractive investment given their opportunity in the metaverse. But the metaverse is not a experience that I want for my kids. I don't want them medicated inside a digital environment all day long. And so there is this balance, and where I ultimately come out on a lot of these tech and transformations is just an insight around my mother and her parents being concerned about how much time she was spending on the radio, and of course my parents concerned about how much time I spent in front of the television. And now here I am concerned about how much time my kids will spend in the metaverse. I think that it's these trends are going to come regardless, and it's important that we just reinforce what is unique to humans: creativity, community, and empathy. Reinforce that so that the next generations will understand that you need to take these tech new paradigms with a balance.
You just talked about a metaverse, negative aspect, I would say. What about on the other side? What I mean is, using the metaverse, maybe we can achieve more balanced world. At the moment, the opportunities to be rich or to be educated, to be active around the world is quite limited to a small number of the people around the world. Some people cannot travel around the world because they don't have money, or they are handicapped, or they are not properly educated. But maybe utilizing metaverse, the world can be more fair and opportunities could be spread out.
Exactly. I mean, that is and we can go back and look at history. There's an element of television that educated people and brought information more quickly. The same with the internet. There's an element of we're doing a lot of work on kind of some of the roots of technology and look at instant messaging, AIM specifically, AOL instant messaging. That was like the initial first network. It really was allowing communications, the walls to break down. The way that those first users of AIM described it as the world just seemed to, the barriers of communication around the world seemed to melt away with instant messaging. And it was quite a profound time. This is in the 1990s around communications, is something as simple as messaging. And I think I agree with you, is that I think the metaverse has a similar opportunity around education, around experiences that have historically been limited to people with wealth and education. These experiences in entertainment and education, now all of that through the metaverse. And I see those two, people debate about like what is the really exciting, most exciting applications in the metaverse. The education piece and the experience piece, I think, is undeniable, is that learning and bringing information to everyone is an incredible opportunity with the metaverse. And those are the reasons why Loop is comfortable with owning a company like Meta, is because we believe ultimately that the world is going to be a better place because of that, basically a freedom of information.
I see. So the reason you invest in Meta platforms is not only because the price went down dramatically, but it's also you are seeing some opportunities for the long term. Is it correct?
Correct. Yes. And we had invested in it. The price went down. We invested in partial investment. Then it went down even more, and we invested more at that point. And so it is, the way we think about this is it's an opportunity. You can own a business that is unique, to have 2.5 billion daily active users, call it 7.5 billion people in the world. It's quite remarkable.
Yes.
So you have this business that is unique. It does have its headwinds with IDFA and some of the changes that Apple has made around its ability to make money from their advertising. But even with that headwind, you have this great advertising business and network that can fund the $10 billion a year that they're spending on the metaverse. I would just one more piece, I think, that underscores the importance of the network effect and how hard these are to build. Elon Musk went and really was exploring to essentially build another network to try to pursue his, agenda in free speech, and decided, of course, instead to invest in Twitter. And he could have done it. He could have gone to other SPACs that were out there, other smaller companies, Rumble, True Social, for example. Those would have made sense, but he chose instead to really influence what is a platform that does have some virality to it with Twitter. And so it's really hard, in other words, to build these networks. And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to invest in Meta.
I see. Excellent point. So I see. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Yeah, Twitter is already well established, and then you already created a network effect. So I see.
Exactly.
Excellent. Back in December 2021, you warned investors to brace themselves for a potential correction in the tech sector, especially during the first 3 months of 2022. Looking back, the last 3 months now, your prediction for the market turned out to be very accurate. What about now? How do you see the US stock market going forward, especially for the tech sector?